Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Wayne County. We are a diverse congregation that welcomes you as you are, regardless of your age, ethnicity, sexual orientation, gender identity, economic status, or physical ability. We come together to seek deeper meaning and understanding from each other and the world around us. Your presence here today is a gift that brings us closer to that understanding. We are an active community that lives its values beyond the hours of Sunday service, and I would like to call your attention to the following. If you're a member of the fellowship, we encourage you to stay for the annual meeting today following the service. There will be a short bio break after the service, and then please return to your seats promptly. Today is also the day that the UU Fellowship covers the protest at the square at noon, and we'd like to have our meeting over before then. Join the music committee on Saturday, June 4th for campfire singing and outdoor games with the music committee. Watch for details.
Good morning. Welcome to church. This morning, I would like to I'm Jenny Papp. I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for this congregation, and I wanted to take a minute, if there are any visitors here today who wanted to introduce themselves. You don't have to, but if you would like to raise up your hand and give us your name and maybe where you're from, would anyone like to do that? Okay, well, welcome to everyone who is here. Our worship services are a little different each time. If this is your first or second time, come back, it changes. Today's service is worship for our minds and our hearts and our voices and our bodies. And what I would like to invite you all to do is to make sure that you move as you need or as you are moved. If you get uncomfortable and you need to stand or you feel like you need to move, you can do that. If you cannot see very well right now because someone sat down in front of you that blocks your view, take a moment during the prelude and find a better spot. That would be great. If you find later you need to do that, that would be great. So this is a service where all of the generations will stay together for the entire service from beginning to end. And I would also like to take a moment. We have some kids who have taken some time. There are things to do up there. If you like to worship with something to do in your hands, come grab some Play-Doh. Grab a doodle thing. You can, there's a ladle lacing thing, whatever works for you, okay? I think as we now get ready to settle in then for our worship, I'll say welcome again. And Eleanor, oh, there she is. I'm sorry, I didn't see. Eleanor will play our prelude for us. Let's worship.
Thank you, Eleanor. I gotta pull this down because my glasses are fogging. Okay, now I would like to invite Joe Harper and Elliot Christian to light the chalice this morning. Chalice lighting is from Christian Schmidt and Alexis Capon. We light this chalice for our children and youth and for us, celebrating the flame of faith lit in each of us, honoring the light each of us bring into the world, rejoicing in the community we create together. Wonderful. Now let us worship together. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing the opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. And you can find the music in the gray hymnal number 361.
Each year, near the end of our church year, we have a special Sunday to honor, celebrate our religious exploration program. We call it RE Sunday. So that's where you find yourself today. Everything we do is faith development. All we teach is Unitarian Universalism. The congregation is the curriculum. I started facilitating OWL about 20 years ago. I started doing this as a job about 7 years ago. And not long after I started that job, I heard those words. I read those words. And it became clearer, much clearer to me after I read those 3 sentences what my job was. Which is good to get a little more clarity on your job. And then about, I don't know, a few years ago, maybe 3 years ago, those words which I had posted in a lot of different places and used to have, well, it's a lot of places, I see it all the time. All of a sudden, there was a shift. You know how when you look at something and it always looks one way, and then someone tells you it looks like something else and you can't unsee it now? You want to go back to what you saw, but you can't. Anyways, it was like that, and I'm going to say these words to you again. Everything we do is faith development. All we teach is Unitarian Universalism. The congregation is the curriculum. It wasn't a diminutive all anymore, like the diminutive, like all we teach is Unitarian Universalism, and that's all we do, and we're in a box. No, all of a sudden it became in community when we are together, and all that we are doing when we keep our promises, our principles that we have promised to affirm and to promote, to live in our lives, when we do those together, that is teaching each other Unitarian Universalism from the littles to the bigs. We promised each other to do it together, and we promised to help each other when we stumble and fall. And when we do that and live our lives out loud, we are the congregation, right? We're the curriculum. We can teach lessons, we can have books, we can have whatever. It's how we do that together. And so, that expansive all has made a big difference in how I think we do this together. And I couldn't do this, told the RE leaders in our program earlier this week, I couldn't do this by myself. There's absolutely no way, right? There's too much to do, too many things to happen. And the learning comes from the people who are interacting together. I don't have that much wisdom. So we got a lot more right here. This congregation, I feel blessed, has an attitude of abundance that has been really helpful. It is an abundance of time, an abundance of love, an abundance of curiosity. Because y'all are developing your faith still too, the adults. It doesn't stop when you turn 18. Some of you might not have started until after you turned 18, right? And there's an abundance of yes in this congregation too. I kind of knew that, and then some of you, there was a video made here for when you were a Breakthrough congregation a long time ago, and it was like the congregation who says yes or something like that. You're all sitting up here nice in front of the water garden. And when I saw that video, I said, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I knew that, but it wasn't so overt. People say yes. So it's a congregation of abundance. I have two RE guides that have offered to share with you today what faith development and means to them and how their faith development has been affected by their work in the RE program. And I think David Francis, COVID strikes, he's fine, but he thinks he maybe should not be here with all of us for today, so he's made us a video. And let's hear from David.
Hi, this is David. I'm meeting with you virtually because of a recent exposure to COVID. So out of an abundance of caution, rather than joining you in person, I'm sending this video in. Jenny Papp asked me to talk a little bit about how my involvement in RE has affected my own faith journey. I think a good way to start is to just let you know, I've been involved in facilitating RE for almost 25 years now. And I found it to be a very rewarding experience. In the tradition of Sophia Lyon-Fahs, we get to work with the youth and the children on addressing some big questions. Things like, who am I? And we're not on our own in this. We have a great DRE to help. We have curriculum that we can go on. And more importantly, the children and youth actually guide us quite a bit as well as us guiding them. It's an experience. It's sort of like holding up a mirror and looking at your reflection. And believe me, our children ask us to reflect a lot. So I'm willing to say that I get as much out of the experience as the children and youth do as well. So thanks for being with us. Looking forward to hearing the rest of the service today. Hi, this is David.
Hi, David. Thank you. I'm pretty sure David's watching, so thank you, David, for sharing with us. I also would like to invite now Jo Harper to come forward and share her reflection with you.
Thanks, Jenny. David said 25 years. I've been doing this for maybe 3, maybe 4, something like that. So for me, I find that often I can believe a thing or think a thing, but until I am asked to explain it or discuss it, it isn't firmly cohesed. So it's wigglier than I thought it was. I find that when I can talk about a topic, that's when I begin to understand it. If I have to train someone on something, then I understand it more fully. So, as David said, the lessons we do with the kids come from the curriculum, come from the DRE. We don't have to establish it. And they're set up in a really clear, concise, age-appropriate way. So we get to dig into the principles themselves in a way that often as an adult in a service, I don't get the simple grounding in the principles. Usually in the service, no disrespect to any of the ministers who have all been fantastic, we're building on them further. We're not just going back to these are the 7 principles. And as someone who did not grow up in UU, coming back to those 7 principles, even almost especially this year and the past few years where I have felt sometimes stripped back to the bare function essentials of, okay, I need to get up again today. What do I really believe? What do I really cling to? I find going back to, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I can get up every day and I can say that. Even when I am frustrated with the world, I can come back to every single one of those principles and truly know it to be true as we talk about it with the kids. So I find that a huge gift in the past several years. I missed my spot. Anyway, one of the other things that I really love is that at the end of every lesson, we come up with actions to take out into the world with us. The kids have something, they usually come up with it, that they're going to take out into the world and do, and build that world and make it a better place. And that's phenomenal. That brings so much value to my life.
Wow, what an exciting service. Okay, our faith is centered on the belief that we can make the world a better place for all who dwell in it. In order to realize that vision, we need both the motivation and the means. Your donation helps the community put its faith into action by supporting our programming and facilities. This morning and throughout the month of May, donations that are not designated for another purpose will be split with 180. The offering will now be collected and gratefully received. And for our offertory music this morning, Sharon is going to play Teach Your Children Well as we view this video, this recap of our year in religious exploration.
Let's do that again. I'll tell you, putting those slides together, it's been a long year. Back at Mennonite Mutual was the first slides last summer. Doesn't that feel like forever ago? And we've done so much. So now is the moment when I really want to tell you that the RE facilitators that you saw in a lot of those pictures, that have been there this year, a big thank you to their yes. We also had to, once the building opened, we had to populate the nursery with adults to be there, to be welcoming for any visitors we may have, and for the few littles that we had that didn't want to hang out with y'all the whole time in here. So I had a lot of yeses there too. So I don't know exactly who all is here, but what I would like is when I call your name, if you are here, if you would come up here. And Jess, you want to join me? Because they help Jess too. So we've heard from David Francis, so we know that David is not here today. David Francis. Joe Harper. Adam Keating is at his brother's wedding. Adam says yes all the time, and it's been really wonderful. Josh is not here. But thank you to Josh very much as well. Leah Humphrey, Steve is here. I saw him come in, there he is. That trip to Johnson Woods was my favorite all year. And did you see we built your puzzle? The puzzle that you helped the children make a couple years ago. John Waldman, I know, is here. Thank you so much somewhere. And if you add up all these years, David had 25. We're going to be up to close to 200 by the time I'm done with this list, I am sure. Kat Gibbons. Thank you, Kat. Denise Bosdorf is dealing with university graduation business today, but Denise Bosdorf as well. And Delisa Randall Griffiths came late to the game for me this year, but, oh, you are here. Yay.
And Faith.
Wendy Ziegler Clark said yes to the nursery. There she is. And Mary Gentry and Chelsea Chirpuk all said yes to the nursery. And let's see, Linda Michelle helped in the nursery as well. Sammy Beery has helped us in the nursery, and Amanda Good, which I don't think is here today. So these are little hearts with little Velcro hands with a big UUFWC hug. So we are going to sing our gratitude. Your applause was great, but we're going to sing our gratitude. And I'm feeling more comfortable singing with my mask on, so I will do that. There is a song that we are going to do a cappella and in the round. All those wonderful things. And so there are two lines, if we can go to the slide that has this. Two lines. Okay. You're the gratitude is happiness side. Depends on your right or left, okay? The gratitude is happiness side. And Walter's going to lead the thank you side. So we're going to sing it all together once, gratitude twice, then thank you twice, and then we'll mix it up. So I'll sing it. We'll sing it together once, and then we'll let them go. How's that? Sure, we'll do whatever I say. Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks. Give thanks. Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks. give thanks. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, give thanks.
We'll let him lead that one.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, give thanks.
All right, everybody ready? So we're going to sing our side twice. And then, yeah, let's stand up. Thanks. And then when Walter points to y'all, you'll start your side after we sing twice. Okay, ready? If you're in the choir, sing loud, okay? Because I'm not in the choir. Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks. Give thanks. Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks. Give thanks. Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks.
Oh, give thanks.
Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks.
Oh, give thanks.
Gratitude is happiness doubled by wonder. Give thanks.
Oh, give thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, all of the people who supported the RE explorations in the past year. I got to get the other piece of paper. You're not done. So this is the time when we get to share a story together. And our story today is Singing Down the Rain. It's by Joy Crowley. But I'm not telling a story today. We're creating one. Okay? So there's a couple things you have to know before we start the story. I'm going to ask for help. So first of all, at some point in the story, we will need frogs. So my frog sounds like this. Brock, brock, brock. I don't know what your frog sounds like. Let's hear it. Brock, brock, brock. Okay, that's good. Okay, we need crickets. What do your crickets sound like? Okay, good. We'll work on that when you get another chance. Okay, then we have a blue jay. The blue jay says, oh, 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 oh. Okay, great. So you're ready for that part. Okay, there's another part. We're going to sing a song. You're going to hear me sing again. So, and I haven't practiced this one. So. There is a song that's going to keep happening, and you'll get real familiar with it because at some point, if we're going to sing down the rain, it will require that we sing, okay? So, ooh shala bo ba loli, ooh shala bo ba lo, ooh shala bo ba loli, ooh shala bo ba lo. Okay, you can do that. That was great. More times, you'll get better. Okay. The next thing we're going to do, I need Judy, Bonnie, Walter, Jess, and Leslie. Okay. So Judy is going to lead all of you in the back 2 rows. No matter what section you're in, if you're in the back 2 rows or on the wall, you follow Judy. And we're going to build a rainstorm. And then, let's see, in this left section over there, except for the last 2 rows, that's Bonnie. Okay? And you're going to follow her. Oh, I'm sorry, I should tell you. Judy's group is going to do this. Okay? Bonnie's group is going to snap your fingers. Okay? Walter has this section right here, and you're going to slap your thighs. There you go, exactly. Jess has this section here, you're going to clap. Right. And Leslie has the far section, you're going to stomp your feet. All right. Okay. So let's do that one time through. Oh, and these are pointing. I think you get that. This is stop, okay? So we're just going to practice. So let's, last two rows, okay? No, you all are still raining. It's over here. I don't hear any snapping. Where's the snapping? Okay, you can stop snapping. Where's the hand rubbing? All right. You get it? We'll do that later. You might want to be louder later, but we'll do that. Okay, everybody can sit back down now. All right, let's set the scene for our story. Mr. Williams, come on up. This is Mr. Williams' storefront. This is Mr. Williams. Okay? And then, yeah, that's Mr. Williams. So the porch of Mr. Williams' storefront was a favorite gathering place for the adults. Brianna's mom was hanging out on the porch. And another random stranger wandered by and found a comfy seat and sat down. Do I see any random strangers? Sure, you look pretty random to me. And stranger, there you go. All right. So they're just rocking away on the porch. Now, the children, whew, the children were laying around, sitting on the ground underneath the big tree. Come on forward, children. Can you, children? More children. Children. Any more children? I see children. Big children. Okay. You go ahead. There's your big tree. That's your oak tree. We're just going to sit around on the ground and stare up at the leaves in the sky. All right, y'all listen to the story, and we're going to act out the story. Everybody got that? Okay. So the children were just laying on the ground that was baked as bare as pie crust. Oh my, but it was hot. It had been hot and dry for weeks on end. All the grown folks just sat and fanned themselves with their hats. They were mostly quiet.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. In case you get hot. They were mostly quiet, but every so often a comment was made. Things like, I never did see the likes of this in all my born days. Or, we have got to get some rain soon, or the corn will surely die. Mr. Williams rocked back and forth. He groaned, sweet wonder. River's no more than mud. Air's so thick you have to cut it up to breathe it. Mr. Bridges snapped at him. Talking don't do a thing to make it better. Yeah. Mr. Williams says talking makes me feel better. You give me a 2-day rain and I will gladly hush my mouth. This hot spell had gone on so long that the good and kind neighbors were indeed a little scritchety. This dry, hot heat, even polite conversation was drying up. Kaylin glanced at the grown-ups. They were sitting and rocking. He lay back and looked up through the brown leaves and looked at that blue jay that was huddled with her closed eyes and her drooping wings, and beside her on the branch was a cricket that looked as dead as a twig. The children, who rarely missed anything, all sat up and noticed something was heading their way. And sure enough, a cloud of yellow dust was rolling down the road, and in front was a big blue pickup truck speeding like it was going somewhere important. That truck didn't turn off the highway. It came into town and slowed to a stop right in front of Mr. Williams' door. Up steps a fine woman with bangles on her arms, painted parrots in her ears, and a smile so big it used up most of her face. Everyone sat up straight. They wanted to watch the way that woman swayed as she walked to the steps of the store. "You folks need me?" she asked. The parrots were dancing around her ears. Mr. Williams had stopped rocking. "Well, no, ma'am, can't say we do." She raised her eyebrows. "You sure now?" "Because coming down that road, I surely felt a praying and a needing. I certainly felt it deep in my bones." Mr. Williams shook his head. He said, "The only thing we need here is a mighty good shower of rain." And then that woman, she just laughed out loud. The sound was like raindrops on a tin roof. "Sir, that's what I'm referring to. I happen to specialize in rain songs." Everyone on the porch turned and looked at each other. "Rain songs? Rain songs? What? Rain songs? Well, that's my profession," said the woman. "Y'all want a shower to come? Y'all have to ask for it real sweet. Try singing it down like this." Just then, she lifted her arms, jiggling her bracelets like a storm of silver bells. She clapped and swayed and singing in a full, strong voice, "Ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li, ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo, ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li, ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo." It seemed to the people that the song rose as a cool wind to fill all the spaces of the sky. Maybe that was just their imagination. The porch folks kind of smiled, not really knowing what else to do about this woman, and then they went back to talking and rocking. "Ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li, ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo." A haze like thin milk spread across the sun, and it hung there for a few seconds, and then it disappeared. The woman had stopped singing. She stood in front of the porch steps looking at the folks, her arms stretched wide. She said, "You folks got a mighty dryness around here. One voice is not enough. Y'all want rain? Sing. Come on now. Open up. Sing out your wanting to the sky." Brianna's mother held her hat over her face. Mr. Williams looked sideways with his eyebrows climbing up. And one just plain laughed out loud, and all the others pretended to be busy. The woman clapped her hands and started up again. "Ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li, ooh-sha-la, bo-ba-lo." The children turned their heads. What was that echo? A deep pulsing sound was rising from the dried up river. Frogs, hundreds of little green frogs, were feeling the rain song cool on their skin and were swelling out of their throats. Brook, 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 brook. Then the cricket on the oak tree jumped to another branch and scraped its wings like fiddle bows. The blue jay woke up. He turned his head to one side and he shook his feathers. A gray mist formed in the sky, and the wind rustled the dried leaves. Good. But it was still not enough. The woman begged them, sing, sing. Oh, the folks on the porch still slid their eyes around and pretended she was not there. The children could smell the rain, but it was only a song or two away. The children got up and came over to the rain song woman. She raised her hands in the air and began with small sounds. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo. Little by little, the children joined in the swaying and the singing. The woman smiled and waved them close with her silvery, jingly arms, so close they were touching each other, and they swayed like a bunch of trees in the winds, clapping their hands above their heads and singing in clear, strong voices. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo. What a song there was now. It was wide enough to fill the whole town, the riverbed and the fields of corn. It reached up so high that it hung mountains of clouds in the air and started the distant rumbling of thunder. It was too much for Brianna's mother. She let go of her hat and she stepped right down beside them, looking at the sky and singing in her big church voice. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo-li. Ooh, sha-la, bo-ba-lo. The rain began. Okay, we need the rain leaders. The rain began. It began slowly at first. Then some drops fell. They splashed, streaming onto the steps. They rolled like dusty beads on the road. Then the rain let loose and poured down. Mr. Williams said, "Sweet wonder." The rain bounced on the bare earth and turned to mud. And the clouds let go in a waterfall. Rain made a drumbeat on the roof of the store. Rain poured into trickles and streams that flowed down into the river. Another heartbeat, and all those porch folk were out of their rocking chairs and down there with the children. And Brianna's mother was stomping in the mud and laughing out loud. I slowly leave. Get that storm going, it's loud. Keep rubbing, that's right, and snapping. Good. None of them knew it when the woman drove away. It's still raining. The people from the porch were doing their own singing now, dancing, faces to the sky. Singing, drinking in all that mighty good rain, like the frogs, barok, 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 all of the animals. Every blessed creature in the place was drinking in that rain. One moment, the rain song woman was there, and the next, she was gone. Only Brianna noticed her truck. I'm sorry, Brianna. Brianna's mother noticed her truck hightailing off down the road. The rain slowed. Well, all that happened a little while ago. Now in that town, the grass is green. The corn is yellow ripe, and the river runs down to the pond. And they still speak of the day that that fine woman stepped out of her truck and showed them how to sing down the rain. Oh, shallow, bo baloli. Oh, shallow, bo balo. Oh, shallow, bo baloli. Oh, shala, bo balo. Sweet wonder. Sweet wonder. You may sit if you would like. We tell a great story.
So I'm going to do something a little different. You'll notice I don't have my normal notes, I have note cards because I've got 7 minutes. Did it rain in here? Did it? Did it actually rain in here? Juan says yes. My table is wet, but that's because I spilled my water earlier. Who can give me the truth? Did it actually rain in here? Who said no? Are you sure it didn't rain?
Yes.
How do you know?
Because the whole place isn't soaked and nobody is.
Nobody is soaking wet. Sir, have you ever been in a rainstorm?
Mhm.
What happens in a rainstorm?
There's a lot of rain and you get really wet.
You get really wet. Did you experience this or did you read about this?
I experienced it.
You experienced it. Right. You ever notice that if you read about something, it's one thing, but if you do it, it's something else? That is what's really cool about how we do things. Now, who wants to help me out? We're going to do the rain again. Juan, can you help me out with the rain? All right. All right, Juan, let's you and I create the rain together, okay? I'm going to put this. Thank you, Jenny. All right, you ready? We're going to start with, all right, and then and then, we look kind of silly, just the two of us, don't we? Let's try this again. Everybody, everybody. All right. Now, some of you give me some of these. Not all of you, some of you. All right, there we go. A few more. Oh, there come the drops, big drops. Oh, my plants are going to be so happy. Oh, they're coming down more. Coming down more. Coming down more. Big drops. Yeah, yeah, everybody, everybody. Stomp your feet. All right, slow it down, slow it down. Cloud is passing, cloud is passing, cloud is passing. Oh, passing through. It's like Florida, 2-minute thunderstorm. Didn't that work much better than just me and Juan up here? I mean, he's a good-looking guy and everything. Just, right down here. Thank you, Juan. And here's the thing. Doing something on your own, one person experiencing something, it's great. You understand what it's like to be wet. All of us together, he says with his mask, all of us together. We're going to try that. Am I still on? Nope. All of us together. Take this off since I'm not talking with people right directly in my face. All of us together is what makes it impactful. Experience, getting wet, community, inclusiveness, doing it together. Who said, Juan, I believe it was you, we were in a rainstorm?
I heard it.
You heard it. Did anybody actually get a little bit of a reminiscence of, yeah, I've been in rainstorms like that? Any of you, how many of you went back to camp when you were in middle school with that experience? Right? There are elements in there that allow you to experience it without it being real. What do we call it when we experience something that is bigger than us? Wonder. Wonder. What I love about our religious education is the idea of wonder. Are we getting thunder again outside now? We called down the rain. So I want to talk just real briefly about those adults in the story. How many people thought the adults in the story believed that was going to actually rain with this woman dancing? Raise your hand if you thought the adults believed the woman was going to make it rain. How many of you, how many of you thought that maybe the kids initially believed it would make it rain? Right? Right? Maybe? Here's the one thing I'm wondering. Part of me is wondering from the kids if they weren't going, well, what do we have to lose by trying? Right? Where the adults are going, I ain't going to look silly. I am sure, Rachel, you were feeling that on a very personal level, right? I ain't going to look silly. I am sure you were feeling it not at all. You enjoy looking a little silly. It's professional, right? But why did the adults join in? This is what we talk about with our faith. Why do we do these things when we don't think they will work? Why do we believe we can change the world when the world has shown us time and time again it does not want to be changed? Why? Because what we do is rooted in one thing: hope. Hope. I was asking Jenny for some wonderful quotes and insights last night about curriculum and how we define curriculum, and that got way too academic for me. But she handed me this wonderful quote by Diana Chapman Walsh, which I really think talks about what we need to do. I want you to bear with me as I explain this. Read this out. We must judge ourselves by a higher standard than effectiveness, but by the standard of faithfulness. Are we faithful to the community on which we depend, to do what we can in response to its pressing needs? Are we faithful to the better angels of our nature and to what they call forth from us? Are we faithful to the eternal conversation of the human race? Are we speaking and listening in a way that takes us closer to truth? Are we faithful to the call of courage that summons us to witness to the common good, even against great odds? When faithfulness is our standard, not effectiveness, friends, faithfulness. When that is our standard, we are more likely to sustain engagement with tasks that will never end. Doing justice, loving mercy, and being called and calling the beloved community into being. That is what we do. And our curriculum, how we learn that, it's like in that story. First of all, we have to experience this together. We have to live it. We have to embody it. Secondly, we have to be inclusive. You cannot sing down the rain alone. And third, never lose wonder. You want to talk about the greatest gift we get from our religious education? It is a reminder that there is hope, that there is wonder, that there is possibility at all times. Never lose your faithfulness. Never lose that vision for the better community. Never lose your state of wonder. Be prepared, friends. We sang down the rain. And I know it's been overcast lately, but we actually got some thunder. Should we be able to do that just by singing? You can say that effectively, no. But by faithfulness, we need to put our voices together. May it always be so, my friends.
As we're winding up the great and kind of unpredictable story of RE in this fellowship over the past year, what a joy to do this as a gathered community. The time we spend guiding, caring for, learning, and being with the children and youth of this community is a special ministry for us all. May we approach our time together with deliberation and delight. Listen to each other deeply. Guide them compassionately, and show each other by example what it means to be Unitarian Universalist. This community of great wisdom, insight, strength, and dedication. Everything we do is faith development. All we teach is Unitarian Universalism. The congregation is the curriculum. Blessed be. Violet Stormer Birch will play our prelude for us, or postlude for us. Thank you. Annual meeting, come back in 10 minutes. Okay.
All right, friends. There's a meeting coming up very loudly. There's a meeting coming up, our annual meeting. You've been sitting for about an hour. We're going to take 5 minutes, stretch, use the facilities. Please come back to the spot, and then we will start.
It's easier when you have a lot to do.
Yeah.
I made fewer mistakes. I've had much less to do and made the same number of mistakes.
Right. It's that whole keeping you on your toes part.